And we are back at it, ladies and gentlemen. Riley Knight in the booth. Welcome along to live coverage of GP Barcelona. Next to me, this sweet karate boy, it is Rafael Levy, the Hall of Famer. Raf, so good to be sitting next to you for the first time today, my friend.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, good evening, and good night wherever you are around the world. I'm all over Rich Hagen's flavour right now. My friends, round number 7 is upon us on your screen. Shota Takao against Marcio Carvalho. Look at these guys going at it hammer and tongs. Already we've got some spice on the screen for the viewers, Rafael Levy. We've seen this previously, this black-red aggro deck. It's been doing the works, been going around and around the tables here with the old Oran Reef getting up in the mix here.
The ruins of Oran Reef.
Ruins of Oran Reef, that's right. You can see it on your screen there. Putting +1/+1 counters on colourless creatures as they enter the battlefield. Very, very handy utility card, and adding a lot of aggression from some of the colourless creatures that are found in this black-red aggro. We call it black-red aggro. It's colourless aggro in many ways, with some huge Eldrazi monsters coming down.
Yeah, with Thought-Knot Seer and a Reality Smasher. Also with...
Scrap Heap Scrounge is also getting up in the mix, but I can see you swiftly consulting the deck list there. Maybe an obscure card coming out.
Matter Reshaper.
Matter Reshaper.
That was the other Eldrazi I was missing.
All sorts of stuff going on here. We see PNLR come down, however. Fatal Push going to get rid of that Thopter. So Carvalho not on the board yet, but he's going to change that very swiftly. Here comes Gideon. Knight Ally coming down. And it's back to Shota Takao now. We're going to see an attack from PNLR. She's coming across to Gideon, but she's going to trade with this Knight. So Takao leaving himself without much of a board here, Rafael Levy.
So to attack Gideon, Reality Smasher is a very good way to do that. And...
But look at this. This is a tidy turn here. As PNLR comes down and we see the ruins of Oran Reef already getting it done with this 1/1 flyer being turned into a 2/2.
Yeah, full power for 3 mana is a good deal.
And 2 of it in the air? Absolutely. Sign me up. Yes, please. So that explains the rather headlong attack there by PNLR into the Knight Ally. Carvalho here. You can see him on your screen.
It's also a good way to pump your Scrap Heap Scroungers when they... come back.
They're hungry boys.
They have more opportunities to be like 4/3s. If you don't have the mana to do it right away when you play them on turn 2, then you have the opportunity to do that a little later in the game.
There is the Scrap Heap Scrounger coming back, of course. So again and again and again, the hits don't stop with the Scrounger. This guy's going to get up in the mix time and time again, and of course with the Ruins of Oran Reef, that's a nice way, as you say, Rafael Levy, to punch through some extra damage. There's 3/2s turning into 4/3s thanks to that card there. Carvalho considering his options. He's deep in the tank here.
Shota's deck is pretty much a 3-color deck.
And it's going to be a Gideon emblem here.
It's black, red, and colorless.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to characterize this deck, because really it's relying on some pretty heavy, pretty powerful cards like the Thought-Knot Seer, like the Reality Smasher, which do require colorless mana. So
earlier today we had this deck. This is the 3rd time we have it, through the 4th time we have it on camera, and we labeled it black, red, colorless, and people were confused.
Black, red, colorless.
Yeah, it's black, red, colorless because the 3rd color is colorless. So I think we got back to black, red, aggro, but colorless is also...
It's an essential part of the deck's makeup.
Spot on, yeah.
Absolutely. You've got cards like Ether Hub, you've got cards like Spire of Industry. That's enabling these colorless cards, in addition to the Ruins of Oran Reef, of course. And now it's Takao jumping into the tank. Both of these boys down in the aquarium here, getting all up in the mix, as we see an attack with the Thopter on Gideon. But it's shot out of the sky, unfortunately, for Takao after that pump from the PNLR.
That's a lot of lands on Shota's side. And Gideon making 3/3 tokens now.
Yes, and even a humble little Thraben Inspector coming down as a 2/3 plus the Investigate. And Carvalho is really pulling ahead here, you'd have to say, Raph.
Yeah. Yeah, now it's going to be tough to come back since Reality Smasher is not going to do much anymore.
No, there's too much gumming up the ground here now, and especially in the face of that emblem, Carvalho can just keep the hits coming. As we see the Knight Ally get in for 3, another 3/3 coming down. And the Portuguese player ships it to his opponent here. Unlicensed Disintegration off the top. Is that going to change anything here?
Doesn't look like it. He's not going to be able to kill the Gideon here. So that's a problem. He's going to make 4-3, but that's barely relevant at this point.
Matter Reshaper coming down. Again, benefiting from the ruins of Oran Reef there. Lots of treasure found amongst these ruins. Bit of Nathan Drake action going on as we dive into those waters. There's the Reshaper. We saw it played, of course, during the Eldrazi winter just over a year ago. One of the key pieces of the deck that was running rampant across the modern format. Perhaps not one of the key pieces, but definitely a role player, I would say. But at the moment, it's all about standard, and Gideon continues to make his very, very strong mark on this game. It's all about this Planeswalker at the moment, Raf.
Indeed. It's going to be hard to, for sure, to come back in this game if Gideon's around. The Marshu carefully played, activated Gideon before attacking, just in case. Well, I'm not even sure. Nah, this...
Not really. Nothing springs to mind as ways he could be punished for that as Thalia comes down.
No, if Gideon was on 3, then yes, but he was on 4, so...
An unlicensed disintegration could be trouble in the face of an artifact, which I don't see one on Takau's side at this stage here.
No, Meta Reshaper is not an artifact.
No, it doesn't count there, so it doesn't turn on the unlicensed disintegration.
Yeah, now an emblem, an extra emblem, an attack from Gideon should be enough.
So Carvalho might be able to put the finishing touches on this game. One card in hand. Doesn't look like he's going to need it as he scans it very quickly.
He can activate Shambling Vent.
Well, we're going to see an attack first by the look of things. No activation of the vents. That's how things are shaping up, although a bit of quick counting here from Carvalho. Maybe he's going to take the line you're saying, Raphael.
Well, I think there are a lot of lines that win here.
Yeah. He's got to pick the one. Look at that. An assortment of delicious pasta dishes in front of them. And which one will get him to the W?
He has 2 blockers. Let's say he has 3 blockers with a removal in his hand. That would leave 3 creatures not blocked. Would be 6. Yeah, I think either way is fine. He can activate Gideon to attack, or he can just
emblem it.
Emblem.
Yeah.
If he attacks with everything, he needs 2 removal, and even then, he's in a world of trouble.
So Carvalho once again carefully counting up his cards. We see Gideon go upstairs. Looks like we're just going to swing him in. Here we go. Yep, attack with everything except the Thraben Inspector.
He's playing around like 2 removal then. Oh, I see, because he can block, Shoda can block Thalia, and then he would die with the first strike damage.
Ah.
And then if he draws another removal, if the top card is a removal, then he can... okay, well...
No, not going to do it. There we go. So Takao packs them up there, has a quick look at the top card of the library. I think it was a
Ballista.
Was it the Ballista?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a great combo with the Matter Reshaper.
No, certainly not. No. Comes into play and then leaves. Just a whirlwind tour there for the Ballista.
Do you have to play it?
I'm not sure. We'll have to get the card up and
the Matter Reshaper.
We'll get the card Matter Reshaper up and have a look at whether it's mandatory or not in just a few. But right now, we'll talk about how things are going to shape out for the rest of this feature match. You can see in the feature match area, Joel Larsson in there, the Swedish superstar. And, of course, the on table 2, those boys we were checking in with there, Marcio Carvalho and his opponent Shota there. But that's unlicensed disintegration. Quite close, but no cigar. Matej Zadelkai, of course, working at light speed to get this card up on there for your viewing pleasure. And there it is. He's just given us the big finger guns, ladies and gentlemen. What a superstar he is. There's Matter Reshaper.
Oh,
so, no, you may put it onto the battlefield. You don't have to.
That's very sad. Oh, you may?
You may put it on the battlefield. Otherwise, you can put it into your hand. So that's all good. That's all good ski there. No worries at all.
All right.
See Rich Hagen there taking care of the life totals along with Stephen Leeming. We're very well supported here in the booth by a fantastic team of coverage members here. Let's check in with table number 2 now. Joel Larsson, of course, out of Sweden, the 21st ranked player in the world, playing against Miguel Castro. Looks like we've got another Jeskai or 4-color Sahili deck here. And the very much the matchup of the tournament. Mardu Ballista facing off against the Sahili deck. And both players off to pretty good starts here. We've got Hearts of Kieran. We've got
Joel is
Servant
missing
of
a
the
third
Conjurer.
land, so.
But a very relevant point there, Raphael Levy.
So a good start, but not so much on turn 3.
Well, we'll see if Castro can press the advantage here. He's got 3 mana. Looks like we might see a Rogue Refiner coming down. Draw a card, get some energy. Doesn't get better than that. Here we go. So Castro continues to develop nicely as we see a a late attack. No, thank you. Well, maybe leave that one back. No, in she comes. There we go. No, it's being tapped for mana. I tell you what, one of the most confusing board states, and there are a total of 7 permanents on the battlefield. We're going to see an Attune with Ether. Snag Castro another card. Snag him some energy as well. So he's developing. Everything's going according to plan here for Castro.
Depending on what's left in his hand, if he has some way to spend his energy.
See a Plains fished out of his deck. Again, Raphael, we've already discussed today the fact that this 4-color deck is really just Temur colors with a brief, just the slightest of white splashes for the Guardian. Maybe some cards out of the board as well.
Yeah, this is to polish up the combo.
Larsson's going to have to keep developing his mana here, and he manages to find a concealed courtyard, so that's good news for him.
It was concealed. It was very well concealed.
Very well concealed indeed there. Putting it to immediate use. We have the older Toolcraft Exemplar sitting out there. And that's going to jump aboard the Heart of Kieran and straight in for 7. Here we go. The Toolcraft Exemplar, the archetype of...
The Façonneur d'Outils.
The archetype of hand, of tool making...
Toolcraftman?
Toolcraftman, yeah. The French name's just truly poetry in motion here.
So no blocks from the Rogue Refiner.
Castro's just happy to take it on the chin here. What's he got? He can go up to 5 mana if he's got his land. Of course, he does have the land thanks to the Attune with Ether from last turn.
That's very aggressive.
In comes the Rogue Refiner. Here's the Plains as well.
That's super aggressive.
5 mana.
Is the boat? Oh, I see.
Look at that. That is a tidy turn here for Castro. And that explains a few things, Raphael Levy.
Yeah. So no blocks, I understand now. To get one extra gremlin.
One little gremlin out of the deal there. So that's a huge swing here for Castro. He's down to 9, but Larsson is really going to have to stage some kind of recovery. And being stuck on lands with cards like Avacyn in hand, that's a nasty position to be in. Heart of Kieran the play for Larsson. So Castro now can press the advantage. That was a very strong turn from him last turn. Can he capitalize on it here, Raph?
Well, it depends what's left. He has a lot of cards in hand and probably no land.
Yeah, he looks to have a fair whack of cards there. A gunboat load of cards there. 3 mana. Nope. Thinks better of it. I can see a Harness Lightning in hand. Is Saheeli hanging out in there as well?
Yeah. When you think about it, the release the Gremlins is pretty much a Viridian Shaman with a multi-kicker.
Oh, yeah. That's very true.
2.
Yeah, in red.
Yeah.
Down comes a Rogue Refiner. Castro continues to dig through his deck. A lot of velocity here as he keeps a nice full hand while developing his board, and it's an Ether Hub.
9 energy.
And in comes a big attack here. As this game continues to develop, we'll check back in on it in just a few, but right now it's time to head back to our first table, Raphael Levy, Shota Takao and Marcio Carvalho. We saw Carvalho take out game number 1 here in a handy fashion, and he's off to a good start with a Thraben Inspector. He's going to come across and ding Takao for 1 as he begins his 3rd turn. Removal in hand for the Japanese player here. Looks like he's got some action in the form of a Scrap Heap Scrounger as well. Oh no, that's a Walking Ballista. Very similar art on those two cards.
The black-red colorless deck has some cool interactions.
Go on.
With Runes of Oran and Walking Ballista. Well, he doesn't have Rune of Oran, but you can, on turn 1 you play Ruins, whatever you want. On turn 3 you have a 2/2 Ballista, which is not possible in most decks. Unless you have a Winding Constrictor, then you would have to play black-green for that.
And all bets are off, absolutely, as the Thraben Inspector comes across and dings Takao for another 1 point of damage, poking away here, knocking him down to 18. Carvalho with a full grip. I can see a Gideon, bunch of lands hanging out there as well. What's going to be the play here? Oath of Liliana, also in the hand of Carvalho. Sacrifice effects, an interesting choice to take with your card selection here, Raf.
Yeah, both players are playing very carefully. Like Shota did not play Olivia last turn, where he could have, but he doesn't want it to die to a Fatal Push. He don't want it to die to Fatal Push or a Disintegration. He wants Marcio to tap out first, or to play a Gideon. Well,
it's going to be Walking Ballista for 2 here from Takao. He's happy to tap out.
At least he gets something out of it if Marcio kills it.
There is the Walking Ballista. Clomping its way through the city of Kaladesh. And Stephen Leeming's eagle eyes spot the need for the energy token to be moved just inside the field of view there. For you, your viewing pleasure, ladies and gentlemen around the world. Certainly a great pleasure for us to be hosting this event for you, bringing you live coverage of all the action here from GP Barcelona. Checking out exactly how things are shaping out in this standard format. Oath of Liliana comes down now. We're going to see the Walking Ballista shoot the Thraben Inspector a couple of times before hitting the bin as a result.
Okay, now it's time for Thought-Knot Seer.
Yes,
Clear the way for Reality Smasher.
And we see here, double Gideon. I tell you what, in the face of that Oath of Liliana, such a nice follow-up play to the Oath, of course, to play a Planeswalker immediately afterwards. You would think Thought-Knot Seer would be good against this hand,
I think it's pretty good.
But still, I mean, we're going to see that Gideon come down next turn.
No, there's Heart of Karen.
To threaten it, of course,
so
up there, yeah.
And
he's hidden away at the top, Raphael Levy. Look at that.
And he has Olivia, Mobilized for War in hand, so it's not like it's going to do much.
It's not all over Red Rover here. No, Shota Takao playing the old Llanowar Elves amongst your lands trick there. But Carvalho...
Or just the
priced into playing this
Dryad Arbor.
Here. Oh, the old Dryad Arbor, that's right, yep. It's so much more tilting when it's a Llanowar Elf, though. So this means a 3/3 zombie is going to come down thanks to the Oath of Liliana. It would, of course, be a 2/2, but we have seen that emblem made immediately. I think Carvalho realizes he can't defend that Gideon.
That's the rich man's Hill Giant.
Yeah, sure. Easiest way to assemble a 3/3, certainly. Oath of Liliana into Gideon emblem. That's how the kids do it these days with the rap music and the Snapchat. Here's number 2 of Thought-Knot Seer, the encore performance here.
Another Gideon.
Crowd loved it so much, and once again, just hitting its straps and
attack for 8 here,
jumping into the heart. And Carvalho's taking a real beating here, Raph.
Oh, he's taking it. And another land from Shota is going to be a big problem for Marcio because Reality Smasher's are no joke.
Oh, look at that. And 2 copies in hand, in addition to what looks like a release of Gremlins, as well as that unlicensed Disintegration. Dekao's really steered this game very, very confidently indeed. After kind of being overrun in the first game, as Carvalho chucks his lands about. Look at this.
I like this deck. I like the red-black deck.
I'm curious to see how much of a foothold it can gain. We saw it do some work in previous weeks in other events around the world, but I don't know. Is this the time for it to really shine and make its mark on Standard? I think many players around the world would be very, very happy to see Standard shaken up a little bit by a newcomer, a mystery guest here to the rotation of decks that have become so familiar to players.
So what's the plan here? I think you just probably just kill the Heart of Karen and attack with your own. That's probably the plan.
So we see Release the Gremlins brought to the front of the hand, and indeed it is employed. So Viridian Shaman, once again, as you mentioned.
Yep. Attack for 4, putting Marcio to 4. He needs an answer to Heart of Karen and all the other dudes.
Does Carvalho have it? Thraben Inspector. And we're immediately going to see that clue cracked. It's going to draw a land, and that should do it here.
He doesn't have any way to interact with the Heart of Karen.
No, it's going to sail across uncontested through the skies. Takao draws his third Thought Not Seer. And there it is. Let's have a look at what's going on. And it's a concession straight away from Carvalho. So the third time around, third time the charm here for Shota Takao as he takes out game number 2 in a very, very convincing fashion. I have to say, Carvalho doesn't like the look of that. These guys will hit the sideboards and see if they can configure their decks as optimally as possible as they head into game 3. Raf, you've got the deck lists in front of you. Can you spot anything spicy that we might be seeing in our third game here?
I'm just checking the land count because Shota's deck is a red-black. It's pretty aggro. It needs to curve out and up to 5 mana.
All right.
And it doesn't really have a way to ramp.
No.
Except for Mana Reshaper. So that's the only thing. If the deck had the problem, like just from seeing it, I would say that's the problem. It needs to ramp up to 5 mana to cast Reality Smasher, but it doesn't draw cards, and it doesn't ramp.
No, and so with 25 lands in the deck here, it does seem to me that.
So that's what happened in game 1. He just flooded with no action, and no aggression, too many lands, and that's probably why he plays the full playset of Runes of Oran Reef, because he needs to do something with the extra lands.
That's right, yeah, Gavany Township sort of type effect there. We see this in modern lands that have some extra utility in the late game, are very, very highly prized amongst deck builders, and Ruins of Oran Reef obviously nowhere near Gavany Township in terms of power level, but still, as you say, Raph, performing a very important function in the late game. As we cast our eyes over the sideboards of these two gentlemen here.
So we saw that Shota's playing Olivia Mobilized for War. And 3 released the Gremlins.
As well, yeah, very important card to come in against these artifact-based decks. I can see a couple of spicy ones as well. We've got Chandra in the board as well, 2 copies of the Torch of Defiance, and Ob Nixilis as well. I like this card when you're looking to draw out the game and go very long. I mean, maybe...
Well, this is not the matchup to do that.
No, certainly not, but I'm saying the card itself. I like that in a deck where you know you're going to be facing down removal or board stalls or sweepers, whatever else. I mean... that's the answer to Reality Smasher, isn't it? Really, that's just the sweeper or the the mass removal type effect. So that's a nice one there for Takao. Carvalho, however, a rather orthodox approach to his sideboard here. Release the Gremlins, Anguished Unmaking. Chandra's in there as well. A couple of Oaths, Liliana and Chandra flavoured there. Walking Ballista Shock, Archangel Avacyn, but it's Painful Truths that again I'm very happy to see. I love these long late game cards there. But as you say, Raphael Levy, perhaps not the matchup for these cards to be brought in.
Yeah, I would be surprised to see a Painful Truth against Ob Nixilis.
Yeah, that'd really be one for the books there. So as we head into game number 3 now, as these players finalising the shuffling and presenting of their decks. What is this matchup really going to break over? Is it about the early start? Is it the early aggression, or is it the staying power of is it the deck that runs out of gas first is going to go down? What are we looking at here, right?
Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure it's who plays first, because Thought Not Seer on the draw might not be as good, because Marcio can still play. If they curve out, Marcio can still play Gideon before Thought Not Seer happens. Reality Smasher on the draw, it's already too late. Like, it's probably too late.
Yeah, despite it having haste and being such a high-impact card generally, sometimes it can just be too late to the party. The game has gone on too long. The board is clogged up. There are no good attacks for the 5/5 trample haste here. Carvalho seems to be happy with his 7. Takao's going to take another crack at the title, however, and go down to 6. 6 are the best here for the Japanese player. But for Carvalho, I saw a couple of Planeswalkers, or at least one Planeswalker in his hand. He's got a good mix of lands and spells. And he's you're saying he's favoured in the early stages of the game.
On the play, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Mardu is favourite on the play against any deck.
Well, you yourself mentioned, Raph, that were you to play in this GP, you'd be sleeving up the Mardu cards.
Yeah, I would probably play Mardu.
That's what you'd Mardu?
Mardu.
Mardu or Mar don't? Or Mar maybe? Marby? Marby not. That didn't really work. That one needed a little bit more time in the oven, ladies and gentlemen. Takao consults his 6, happy to keep them. He sends a card below decks.
The more I think deck is labeled wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think it's black-red aggro. I think it's probably black-red Eldrazi.
That'd be a good way to put it, actually, yeah, sure, to highlight that
but like
that colourless component there.
Yeah, it has 11 Eldrazi as the 3rd color, and Oran and Because it can also be like Thought-Knot Seer is not the aggro card. We're just trying to figure it out, you know.
Embarrassed Penguin in a 20 silent film.
The more we learn about how this deck works, the more we can like put a name to it, give it a name.
I like my one, but we'll come back to that.
What's your name?
It's all right. It was a very bad joke in any case. We'll circle back around to that one while I think about a better way to approach it. Mateo Zadokar is laughing. That's the main thing. He's my target audience here. Heart of Kieran coming down on turn number 2 for Shota Takao. As Marcio Carvalho is also curving out nicely. We've got 1 into 2. And are we going to see a 3 here? Really strikes me the very strong difference here between a play like Thraben Inspector into Smuggler's Copter. Very different from Thraben Inspector into Heart of Kieran. But Heart of Kieran has proven itself to be, I mean, just such a format-defining card here. See it on your screen there. Carvalho for 2 mana. Cracks the clue and sends in the Inspector. And the follow-up play. Another Inspector, another clue, and it's back to Takao. Foreboding Ruins revealing a swamp.
Yeah, that hand is not interacting well against Marcio yet.
And Pia Nalar as well, providing a little bit of extra oomph here as she powers up the Heart of Kieran. That is a huge flavor victory there for Shota Takao.
Yeah, maybe we'll ask him to take his cards a little bit down, because
yeah, we could move them
we tend to forget that they're there.
That Heart of Kieran hanging out to the north there.
And for the untrained viewer who's just catching the game, it might be a little hard.
Put that front and center. Put it up on a little pedestal.
Yeah.
Little post-it note pointing out how it's very very important here. Takao goes reaching for his next card. He's continuing to develop his mana nicely. So both of these players not struggling under a lack of lands, which is fortunate. Carvalho without a play. He played Needle Spires and said go. So he could be sitting on a 3 mana removal spell here, Anguish Unmaking, or perhaps an Unlicensed Disintegration. You can get a good look at those cards there. You spot anything interesting in there, Raphael?
Gideon.
Sorry, Gideon.
Chandra.
Mm-hmm.
Attack for 1. That's tricky. That's tempting. Yep.
Gets across for 1 there, the Thopter. And now for 4 mana, it's the Ballista for 2. So the Ballista loads itself up, sticks 2 round in the chambers, and goes to march off.
Another Gideon. These cards don't interact well against Heart of Kieran and Walking Ballista.
Gideon, of course, a 4 of here in Carvalho's deck. But as you say, Raf, Pia Nalar is really dictating the terms of this little engagement here.
So what's happening next? Is there Gideon? Gideon Emblem.
Here he is.
Marcio's been playing it very well since I started watching him play. Like, he likes to make the emblem. Like a lot of people would do, like, will probably prefer to have a knight in play just for instant gain, just to have some presence. But he tends to sacrifice Gideon right away, way more often, which is sometimes the right play.
In this case, we don't see that happen, although we had seen it in previous games. You're right, Raf, in saying so. But correct me if I'm wrong, but in this case now, that Heart of Kieran can just sail straight in and clean up the Gideon, no worries, thanks to Pia.
Yep. So, but he has another one. So
okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's always the right play, but in that case, maybe it was actually the right play.
So Carvalho tapped out. No attacks from him. Rather conservative play here from the Portuguese player.
So there are a few lines from Shotas here. He can crew the Heart of Kieran and attack Gideon with just a Thopter, or that too.
So
he can attack. Oh, yeah.
So attacking with the Heart of Kieran here, and also the Thopter.
All right.
No activation of Pia Nalar's ability to make them unable to be blocked.
Yeah, I like that line too. I didn't have it, but I like it.
And a fatal push. Wow, that's really going to hammer that point home there for Takao. That's a nice line there because that cleans up that. It takes the blockers out of contention.
And now he has 3 counters on the walking ballista. That threatens a Chandra, for example. That threatens another Gideon.
Mm-hmm. And Takao starts to put his snoot out in front here just a little bit.
His what? His snoot?
His snoot. His schnoz.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
His pie sniffer. Any number of appellations you can give the humble nose there. Fatal Push, another card that's made a huge impact across formats. Interesting to see its uptick, its adoption in many of the green-black decks in Modern, of course. Fans of the format would have been...
There's a pretty cool line here.
Oh, tell us about it.
So he can play Scrounger, crew the boat, attack with Walking Ballista, Thopter, and Heart of Kirin. When Marcio activates the Heart of Kirin, he sacrifices the Scrounger, and later he can actually sacrifice the Walking Ballista for 3 or 4 to get a creature in the graveyard and bring back the Scrounger.
Here's the block.
Also, there was a block.
Okay.
That's not the line I had. But
all right, looks like Takao's happy to let that one go.
Okay.
And the hearts smash into each other.
I like keeping the Heart of Kirin.
And after the fire and the fiery wreckage, Carvalho knocked down to 13.
I think I would also have attacked with Pia.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be able to play the next one.
Another one hiding out in the hand of Takao.
Yeah.
I see. More food for the Scrounger as well.
That's my aggro nature. I like to send all the stuff.
Just attack.
Just attack.
Right click, attack with all. Your favorite update to Magic Online.
Yeah.
Scrap Heap Scrounger comes down now. 3-2. Can't block,
that line was perfectly fine too.
And now an unlicensed Disintegration.
Oh yeah, but now he's vulnerable to a second Gideon now. So yeah.
So we'll see 2 damage go onto the Knight ally, and looks like 1 upstairs as well. Or was it 3 on the Knight?
It was 2 on the Knight and 1 on the Marcio.
Okay, there we see the life totals updated to reflect that. And that, of course, means that Takao doesn't take the 3 from the Disintegration.
Yeah, I think I would have tried to kill.
Not that he would have. There was no artifact there. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, but since Marcio had 3 mana up, then he would have killed the Heart of Kirin. So yeah, the line. Yeah, I was just thinking of another line, but maybe it doesn't work.
It's lines for days.
It's a little hard to figure out now because there's too much has changed.
Got your compass and straight edge out, just drawing lines all over the place. Here is the Torch of Defiance. Chandra, we've seen her really tick up in popularity now, and 4 mana is going to power out Gideon, the ally of Zendikar. So a nice little 1-2 punch here for Carvalho using the ritual-like effect of Chandra Torch of Defiance. What have you spotted here, Raf?
A Reality Smasher.
Hello, Reality Smasher.
Is he gonna play it now? Oh, that's another turn of a lot of thinking here.
Yeah, a lot of swinging done in this matchup.
Because he can kill one of the 2 planeswalkers. He can choose which one he kills. With Thopter and Incendiary Flaw. He can also attack with Scrap Heap Scrounger to just trade for Knight, which is probably necessary.
Incendiary Flow, a card that has received a little bit more attention, of course, with the advent of the Scrap Heap Scrounger. Despite only being at sorcery speed, the Exile, the Pillar of Flame-like Exile effect means that it's of huge utility against a metagame infested with the 3-2 recursive threat here.
I think he has to kill the Chandra. And attack with the Scrounger into Gideon. All right, he decides to play the Smasher And attack you. Wow.
Smash, smash. Here we go. Smashy, smash. In comes the reality smasher.
Okay, that's another line I didn't think of. He only has 4 power, so he cannot kill the smasher.
We're going to see some blocks here. Looks like this ill-fated scrap heap scrounger is going to hit the bin. But the smasher, at this stage, looks to be getting through uncontested.
So he's going to go down to... Why don't he attack with Pia?
Penalized is hanging out. She's just hanging out. She's having a good time.
Like now he's playing, especially if he attacks Marcio with everything.
Yeah.
His plan is to push as much damage. So then Pia definitely should have gone.
That's the way it goes. Away goes the scrap heap scrounger.
Let's go down to 6 with the incendiary flaw in hand. That's only 3 damage away from lethal.
Thalia still in hand here for Marcio Carvalho. These players, don't forget, poised at 1-1. The winner of this game will, of course, advance, continuing with an X&0 record, exactly where you want to be heading into the end of day number 1. Exactly where you want to be at any point in a Magic tournament, to be fair.
Yeah. I see why he didn't attack with Pia.
Tell us.
Because now he has the Thopter that Marcio has to kill. Otherwise, he couldn't have been able to cast the Pia and pump the Thopter for 2. He needs to push 3 damage in. And he needs 4 mana next turn to do that if Marcio does not have a removal. So yeah, that's a good line too.
So not wanting to open that Pia Nalar up to any kind of shenanigans.
Yeah. Motorist.
Veteran Motorist coming down now for Carvalho.
That doesn't deal with the Thopter. And if Shota draws a land, he can do everything he wants, which is pumping twice, the Thopter twice, and then playing the Incendiary Flow.
Seems like Carvalho is definitely looking for something here as he rather steadfastly turns those 2 cards to the bottom of his deck. Another Knight ally generated by Gideon here.
So now the Smasher is just going to trade for two Smashers. He's probably going to stay in defense now.
And a Thalia comes down as well. It's going to mess up any future reality smashes. I think Takao is obviously having his options limited by that. Pia Nalar in hand along with an Incendiary Flow.
Oh, wow. That's a Fatal Push.
Fatal Push coming down as well for Carvalho.
And that's also no... And there's no artifact now. Oh, wow.
Fatal Push the draw for Takao as well. 2 pieces of removal with the Fatal Push and Incendiary Flow as well in the hand of the Japanese player here.
This game is crazy.
Yeah, it's really coming down to it here. Carvalho with an absolutely stacked board. Takao's been piling on the pressure against his opponent, but it hasn't been quite enough for a breakthrough. He's going down to 6.
No, there are a few things he can do. He can bring back the Scrounger, sacrifice it to make Thalia not block, attack with a Reality Smasher, and then play Fatal Push on a blocker just to make the... and kill everything. That would be pretty cool.
Well, it's going to be... Looks like an attack with the Reality Smasher. No. Takao hesitating.
Let's see. How does it work like this? If he brings back the Scrounger right now, makes...
Okay, going to be a block here from the Thalia, and looks like everything's jumping in the path of this Reality Smasher. Certainly going to be smashing the reality of those cards put in front of it here.
And this way doesn't work. No, Shota's plan could have been a little more thought through, I think. Like if Marcio blocks with everything. No,
I'm not having a go at you. 5 minutes ago, you're talking about how important it is to just send him sideways, and then when he does, oh no,
but
trouble.
it is important. But like, I think making someone not block might have been the play.
All right.
Because here, the outcome of this attack is not going to be great. Like he's going to lose his Pia for pretty much no reason. He's going to deal with the whole team, but then he will end up with nothing. If he brought back the Scrounger before and make any of the blockers not blocking, kill Thalia before blocks, then he has, let's say, two Thalia is not blocking because it's dead. 3-1 is not blocking because it's dead. He attacks with 2 of them. And if Marcio decides to block everything on the Smasher, it's okay. He kills everything. And he still has 2 damage going through with Pia.
So Takao loses his board. He's going to kill the Heretic Cathar here. Seems to me, Ralph Levy, that you did have a little bit of a better grip on the situation here.
I think my lineup worked.
Well, we'll see how Takao's going to get through this little bit here. Does have the Pianolar in hand. Maybe wanting to really prioritize playing that for better or for worse. Maybe he saw that as the more important objective here.
Because now he's really left with nothing. There's unless he draws another Incendiary Flaw or Unlicensed Disintegration, he's not winning this game. Because Marcio is going to kill the flyer right away. He's going to shoot the flyer or kill it with a...
So Carvalho now. Thumbing his cards as he considers what he's going to do. 1 card in hand for Takao, 1 card in hand for Carvalho. The card in Takao's hand is, of course, the Incendiary Flow. Incendiary Flow dealing 3 damage at sorcery speed and exiling anything it touches.
He had a creature in the graveyard, right? So my plan could have worked.
I think there was the Walking Ballista from earlier.
Oh, yeah, the Ballista. Yeah,
Third down.
The Ballista, yeah.
Third from the top of the graveyard there. So, no, definitely the line you had was valid. Whether Takao didn't see it or decided against it, he's released the Gremlins. That's a nice rip here for Carvalho. Nice spicy rip off the top. Gremlin token incoming, you would imagine. No attacks here.
Oh, wow. That's another good one.
Still,
wow, that's a great one. Gideon, Reality Smasher.
Yeah.
Here.
Okay, it's going to be the Reality Smasher. Yes, indeed. And across just straight up at you, mate. Straight up at you. Deal with this one, he says.
Yeah, that's lethal. Well, not here, but for next turn.
Put this in your pipe and smoke it, says Shota Takao. Let me lift up. Let me blow up your spot.
Yeah, the 3 damage, at least 3 damage coming through here.
And
wow, that was a nice draw.
Should there not be a Gremlin on the battlefield?
No, because he sacrificed it. He sacrificed it to Pia.
Carvalho played a release the Gremlin.
For 1 on the Thopter.
On the Thopter.
But Shota had a mana untapped. He sacrificed it to Pianolar.
Oh, I see. Oh, sorry. The Thopter was sacrificed to counter it. I didn't see that.
No token. No token.
No token. No token. No token. No talking.
By the token.
So Carvalho now has to find his way out of this.
Yeah, or deal 16 damage next turn.
Easy game.
So 5, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 damage. He's missing 7.
Oh, look at that. Poor little Inspector.
He has the...
Got Needle Spires.
Needle Spire, so it would be 4 more. He will still be missing 3 damage.
So that's the block there. Carvalho is going to get knocked down to 3 here. Draw a card. It's a mountain. It is a mountain here. So is this the end? Checks in with the top of the library again. It is a Spire of Industry. That's exiled. A Knight ally, thanks to Gideon, and Takao with a lethal burn spell in hand. Sends it in. Block with the Needle Spires and the Knight ally. That's fine.
Such slow rolls.
Check this out. Goes straight upstairs, and an extension of the hand from Marcio Carvalho. He can't believe his luck. Shota Takao as well, overcome with the motion. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, he's up to 7-0, Raphael Levy. 7-0 with this black-red colourless deck.
I like it.
We saw it make a little bit of a debut for itself in recent weeks, but it looks like this deck may have some staying power. I mean, maybe too early to say perhaps at this stage, but I'm excited to see the development of this deck and its place in this tournament, Raph. We've seen it go through its paces up and down the feature match area so far, and so far, impressive stuff.
I like the fact that he has it has a plan against Mardu.
Mm-hmm.
Has an actual shot.
Okay.
Not like... the other black-red, the more streamlined version of black-red with the engineers.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't remember actual name of that guy.
No, I think we're all over the place with deck names at the moment. Really, we're in a place of great transition.
The 3/3 for 3 that gives +2/+0 to an artifact creature. Something engineer. I don't remember the name of that guy.
But this deck certainly, certainly had a lot to say in this matchup here. And he's done very well to stay at 7-0. We'll check in later, of course, and see how things continue here. But that is that for our round number 7 coverage. You can see the feature match area all but emptied out. My friends, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more live magic coming your way from GP Barcelona before very long. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon.